Good morning, everyone. This is my commentary to lecture number 7 on sustainability modeling for spring 2013. In this lecture, we explore a human-nature interaction model called HANDY. And this model is interesting because it explores economic stratification. There's two cohorts, elites and commoners, their interaction with nature and production of wealth, and see how these four components mix each other and interact with each other. One of the things that I found interesting in this work, which is explained in the lecture and also in the accompanying video for the model itself, is that it allows to explore the conditions that could lead to sustainable outcomes versus non-sustainable outcomes, and all the different different interactions. And many of these things are not subtle at all. They're quite stark. So I found that piece to be pretty interesting. So I hope you enjoy the material, that you read the paper in detail. It's very clearly written, and I think you'll find it interesting and very informative. So I encourage you to read the paper. I also put in the Dropbox folder an accompanying report that sort of goes through the steps that were taken to lead to the current version of HANDY. And HANDY is a model that's an evolution. One of the things that's being added to it now is a differentiation between nature stocks into renewables and non-renewables, because one of the things that you'll see in this version of HANDY is that the ability of nature to renew itself, it's an important parameter in determining sustainability. So if part of nature is not renewable, like many natural resources, then that's bound to have an impact on the sustainability of some scenarios. And the other thing that I liked about this paper is that it lays out this concept of scenarios. It has got 3 major scenarios and then some sub-scenarios, and we're going to be doing more of this in the class, because as just taking you back to the beginning of the class, one of the most important uses of modeling that I mentioned was the ability to lay out scenarios. And I'll reiterate my issue of models not being predictive, but rather being able to lay out possibilities, and these possibilities are what we're calling scenarios. So I like that this paper laid those out very clearly. Going on to bookkeeping items, a few of you have expressed that your Dropbox folders are getting filled up, and of course when you sign on to Dropbox you get an allocated space, and of course with all the videos and all the lecture materials, this gets filled up very quickly. So my suggestion is, you can, even if you don't share the Dropbox folder, you can still have access to the Dropbox material. So if your Dropbox folder is being filled up, my suggestion is that you unshare or de-share the folder. So and then your space is going to be it's going to be freed up. And what I'll do is, from now on in the Facebook page, I'll always post the link to the Dropbox folder of the specific lecture, so you don't lose access to those materials. I don't want to ask you to increase your Dropbox size and start paying Dropbox. That's not my intention. I don't want you to do that. I don't think it's needed. That's how we'll circumvent that problem. So hopefully that will help those of you that are having Dropbox space issues. Let's see what else. We are less than 2 weeks away from the due date for assignment 1, so I hope that you're well underway to get it done by the end of next week, which actually it's not the end of next. Yeah, it's the end of next week. It's March 8th. So please work diligently towards that. Don't turn things late. Later this week, I'll post the instructions for assignment 2, and hopefully I want to get you outside the frame of mind of assignment 1 and into the frame of mind of assignment 2, which is the larger assignment in the classes and also the most important. So with that said, I hope you enjoy the lecture materials, that you play around with the HANDY model, post your results, your insights on Facebook. I like that I'm seeing some discussion, some interaction there. I think that's important, and I want you to experiment and learn and share. Okay, so have a good week, and I'll see you next time.